Hi everyone, it's Grace. Welcome back to my channel. So right now I'm basically on a day-to-day watch on all the numbers and data on government and organizational websites. And there's a lot of things that are happening right now. Before we begin today's video, remember to subscribe to my channel and click on the bell button so you get notified immediately when new videos are uploaded. Also feel free to give this video a thumbs up if you find it useful. As you all know, I'm focusing on the real estate market in Florida, but I also want to put my own perspectives into the business. I believe that real estate is the very foundation for wealth accumulation and happiness for households and economic prosperity. My wish is for all my audience, whether you're buyers or investors, to be happy homeowners on a solid economic foundation. And I will be making an announcement of rebranding my YouTube channel once I reach 1,000 subscribers. And I can't wait to tell you all about it. So are you guys ready for today's topic? Let's go. In a housing crash, say for one reason or another, you become the last buyer for a property. And the two absolute most important thing to do is, first, stay liquid. Second, find new growth opportunities. If you're a self-living homeowner, you should do whatever you can to prevent foreclosure. First of all, if you plan to use a small down payment to buy, this is not the right time, especially for first-time homeowners, because carrying a large amount of mortgage is your biggest enemy now. If you buy with all cash or only use a small portion of financing, you still have property taxes, homeowners insurance, HOA fees, and other home expenses, and or a small portion of mortgage to pay. You should have other income sources to stay on top of your monthly payment, because at this point, staying liquid is more important than anything else. Instead of selling, you should try your best to keep those payments on time, because the government can make a legal claim called a tax lien on your property if you fail to pay for property taxes. If you're delinquent on your mortgage payment for a certain amount of time, the bank has the right to foreclose your home to cover their share of the loss. So in both cases, you run the risk of your home being foreclosed. Now, just because the price is going down and your home is not worth as much as when you bought it for, doesn't mean that it will not pick up again. So rest assured that the home value will eventually increase when the economy goes up. If you're an investor and decides to stay liquid by selling the property for less than what you bought it for to reorganize your assets, by all means do so. But if you intend to keep the property, here's what you need to do. Your relationship with the tenant is more important than ever at this point. Because investors need good return on investment and stay liquid, rental income is important. So the well-being of renters also matters to investors. So what should you do? Number 1, offer rent reduction to cover your monthly expenses. Your property still has productive potential. Keep your tenants in place by offering lower rent so they can stay liquid on their part, and you will stay liquid as an investor. No investor wants to reduce rent, that's for sure. But when home values decrease, to stay liquid, rent reduction or concession is unavoidable. Number 2, rent out as residential commercial mixed space. You might ask, what is happening in a real estate market? The truth is, the pandemic changed people's perception of residential space and commercial space. Since coronavirus mutates so quickly, the Delta variant spreads again. As much as we want the pandemic to be completely and utterly over, the mutation of the virus is more complicated than we could imagine. The unpredictability of COVID-19 makes it harder to predict when people will return to the office, and whether restaurants, hotels, airports, or just about any other public places will reopen permanently. We're sort of trapped in a lockdown, reopen vicious circle. So this is an unpredictable factor for investors, which is not a good thing for a stable ROI. So clearly, the safest choice for life and work is at home. So many things are transformed from a public space to a home space that investors are seeking opportunities outside the residential and commercial dichotomy. Because technology is developing in such a fast speed, more and more jobs and businesses are transformed from offline to online, if not completely. So a lot of companies allow people to work remotely while cities and states are under intermittent lockdown. So it's almost inevitable that homes need to provide more diverse functions to meet people's demand in such unpredictable times. And this is why the residential space is permeating into the commercial space. For investors, as a precaution at this point, If you decide to invest right now with the possibility of becoming the last buyer, you should invest in properties that give you a lot of extra square footages so that your tenants can use the space for home office, home gym, home storage, or just about any other public space that you can imagine. And obtain necessary licenses so that your tenants can work as if they're using a public space designated for that particular types of work. In the past, I made a video about the top 5 home and design trend in the pandemic. To check out the video, click on the top here. So when a housing market crashes, your tenants will be able to fully utilize those extra space so that they can save money, continue working, and stay liquid on their rental payments while you stay liquid on your monthly payments. Number 3, form business relationships with tenants. The relationship between landlord and tenant is sort of on a string right now because of eviction moratorium and rent escalation. But landlord and tenant are also people, where their relationship is more than just collecting rent and paying rent. For all you know, your tenant could be in transition to any of the emergent industries that we discussed before in the last video, or starting as a small business owner or entrepreneur with new ideas. To check out that video, click on the top here. If your tenants come up with a drone business that does delivery in the air, similar to the idea reflected in the movie Kiki's Delivery Service, design an app where people can rent home kitchens for cooking, create a new technology to use hurricanes to generate electricity, or just about any other similarly crazy ideas that are not all on the market yet. As a landlord, don't turn away from it. Listen to your tenant's ideas, and you may be able to form an investor relationship with your tenant, which may transform into a new growth opportunity. Because we live in a world where innovation and creativity are more important than ever. And for all you know, some of these ideas might turn into multi-million-dollar businesses in the future. Number 4, adding popular features to make your rental property competitive. When times are tough, your tenants may need to find other side jobs to stay liquid. For instance, since social media live streaming becomes so popular, you can add features such as ring lights and microphones to your rental property so that your tenants can use those features to do live streaming on whatever topics they want to do so they can earn extra money to pay rent and you can stay liquid. You can also add extra features such as faster Wi-Fi, solar panels that saves utility bills, smart switch that connects to smart home and manages energy use, so on and so forth. These features will make your rental property stand out and more attractive to tenants who are more and more adjusted to a life full of new technologies. So these are the strategies and solutions for the last buyer in a coming housing crash. I hope you find today's video useful. In the next video, I will provide an update on a real estate market in Florida for the second quarter of 2021. So stay tuned. As always, thank you very much for watching, and I'll see you on the next one.